continuation of chapter 63, part 3. You need to listen in on this because this is talking about the spirit of Pharaoh in your life and the divine judgment that they're going to receive. It's also referencing King Esther, okay, which represents Nebuchadnezzar and the divine judgment that they're going to receive. Now, there's a clue here, and I received the prophetic word Siapa, strong number 5589, to overlay, to cover, to plate, and it talks about what's going on with divine judgment, and it also talks about cedar tree, okay, and Ezekiel 31:1, in the 11th year, in the 3rd month, on the 1st of the month. So the months for Hebrew began in the middle of each Gregorian calendar, so it would be mid-May through mid-June. So this is a prophetic word that will come to pass during that time frame, where divine judgment is going to cease after the spirit of Pharaoh and the spirit and the Nebuchadnezzar personality, okay? And that would entail narcissistic personality, ruthless, and there is an additional note here for prideful intellect. So people that have a very high IQ and they are very prideful and non-humble. Okay, so now we go on to talk about pre-Adamic, paradisiacal creation. Okay? Why do we bring this up? Because it's talking about the Garden of Eden, of where this tree was planted. It was planted by Yahuwah, which are in the garden of Yahuwah. Okay, so it says, it was not all Eden, but the garden planted by Yahuwah in Eden, which formed the real paradisiacal creation, so that the words which are in the garden of Yahuwah give intensity to the idea of the trees of Eden. So in the promised land, okay, there is certain trees that are majestic and they represent people. That means they have authority, they have wealth, they have, a lifestyle of high class, okay? They have a lot going for them. All right. But due to their arrogance, they're going to be losing their power very soon now. They're going to be losing their status. There's no escape from divine judgment. The cedar of Lebanon. Okay, so now let's talk about pre-Adamic paradisiacal creation. So whatever's happening on earth now already occurred in the heavenly realm, okay? Already occurred during the Adam and Eve time frame with your spirit man. And so now real life is catching up to what already happened in the spiritual world with your spirit man and with everybody else's spirit man. And that is why it's going to happen now. Now is the time, the appointed times for this to occur. Why? Because history is repeating itself. Second of all, is because it's already been lived in the spiritual world, okay? Now, let me talk a little bit more about what this means. In the paradisiacal, creation refers to the initial immortal state of the earth and all the life forms in the Garden of Eden, existing before the fall of Adam and Eve. It describes an Edenic, terrestrial glory devoid of death, corruption, and decay, serving as a prototype for the future millennium. The Edenic state, the earth was created in an immortal, perfected state, which is paradisiacal, which requires a significant change, the fall, for procreation and mortality to begin. So it's a destined falling of grace that's going to occur to those who have arrogance, okay, and or are narcissistic. So it says spirit creation first. According to the theological interpretations, all things, including plants, animals, and humans, were created as spirits in a pre-mortal realm before the physical Edenic creation. Divine planning. The creation did not happen by chance, but was planned over ordered periods, resulting in a world of terrestrial glory rather than our current celestial or fallen world. Restoration. This original state is not just a past event, it is a state of perfection to which the earth will be restored during the millennium. The theological concept explains a period of perfection, often contrasted with the mortal, painful reality following the transgression, as highlighted in discussion. Okay, so now I hear in the sub-days, he's outside. And then I hear in the sub-days, he keeps leaving. There's someone in your life that's right at the threshold that represents outside. Okay? And then there's someone in your life that keeps leaving. In other words, leaving you emotionally confused all the time. He keeps leaving you when it matters most. You don't want to marry someone and be intimately attached with somebody who doesn't struggle with you. They leave you and abandon you when times get rough. And they leave you, abandon you to deal with all the hardships, all the burdens of household duties and or other issues that arise, and they're not there when you need them the most. Okay? So wake up call. Now, the counterfeit's going to be wanting to come back into your life. You've already set boundaries and have not been with that individual. You've made it official. You've not been with that individual in a real relationship for a while, and you just decided to make it all the more concrete. Okay? But as there's a separation there, you're going to notice that that individual doesn't have the same access to you anymore, and they're not saying that they're loving the person that you're turning into, okay? But they're immature and they punish when you become more vibrant, lively, and confident, okay? And you are still staying positive no matter what, okay? They're wanting back into your life. They're going to try to weasel back in. It doesn't mean you give them a chance again. It means you set your boundaries a little higher, okay? So this is including the ones that are the prodigal spouse that does not return, right? So during this time, you're in transition and you're trying to go through the open door. It's gonna be, it could be that you already dealt with this, or you're dealing with it now. But you're trying to find the open door, and it seems like doors are closing. And just realize that Yahuwah is going to open the correct door, but you need to go seek and find. Why? Because at that location where you've been going to, if you've already done this and you're now living it, and or if you're going to, this is the time for you to do so, because this whole word is going to manifest. Please watch chapter 63, 66 part 3, the first part, okay? But these words manifest on earth as is in heaven. It's happening already, okay? So you don't want to miss. And it's going to look like you're getting some doors shut in your face, but one of them is going to open. Two of them is going to open for you, okay? Hallelujah. So now, and it's going to lead you right directly to where your ordained spouse. So you not go to the right place, go to that grocery store, or go to that clinic, or go to that job site and begin working there, okay? And you're always going to help you get approved so that you can work there, so you can interact with the individual. So you don't have to worry about that piece. And then you're just going to live the prophetic word, okay? You're going to live these dreams, okay? There's a prophetic dream that occurred, and it's going to blow your mind. He's going to be blown away. It's going to be an instant connection, okay? Now, you are during this time severing soul ties with the counterfeit. Hallelujah. You're not falling for the same cycle. You're not falling for you're not obsessed with getting breadcrumbs. You are so done, okay, with that lifestyle, and you are standing your ground, setting your boundaries, and only allowing positive energy into your life, okay? So okay, there is a dream that I had around 12/3/2025, and it has something to do with the ordained spouse and you in a room full of other people. And suddenly he walks. Everybody was telling her, oh, he wants to tell you something. And she turns around and he's holding this poster up. And it says, will you marry me? And she walks over to him, puts her arms around his neck, like behind his neck, she embraces him, and she says yes. Okay. And then the next, prior to that scene, they were interacting with within his field. So you're gonna be taken to within his proximity, okay? And you're gonna be getting along very well with everybody. And suddenly the scene changes, and she enters that room, right? And now, she sees him walking in the room again, so it changes. The scene changes just a little bit, and he now has this very short hair, excuse me, not very short hair. She notices that he has, she walks over to him and she notices that he has changed his hair color to a darker shade. And she asks him, oh, you know, you changed your hair color, kind of like a surprise and like warm and welcoming. But he took it as, oh, she's not attracted to me. And he jumped up and away, and then he ran off. And then he ran into this mountain stackable of sodas, and then he crashed, okay, almost like a crash out. And then some other friends went to go check on him, and she ran over to go check on him, like, wait a minute, that's not what I meant. It's just that you looked really good from before, and then you didn't have to change your hair color just to have me be attracted to you. That's what she wanted to say, because she already was, okay? And it looked like he had tried to change up his hairstyle in order to become more attractive. And when she asked about it, he got a bit intimidated and self-conscious. And it wasn't that she didn't like the new hairstyle, it just was different. So he's coming to you different. He's approaching you differently. Okay? And this, I've had a dream about your ordained spouse coming to you with darker shade colored hair. It's the same face, it's the same person, but he had dyed his hair. I don't know what that's about, but I had shared that dream before on this channel, and someone reached out to me and said she recently had an encounter with her ordained spouse, and she noticed from a distance that he had dyed his hair a little darker. And it's almost coming to life in real time now in April. Okay, and this prophetic word is supposed to manifest between May and June. Okay? So, mid-May to mid-June. So, just be on the lookout that when someone changes their hair color, it has a biblical symbolic significance. Okay? It's a new mindset. And they're really wanting you to love their new persona. Okay? They're really wanting to be accepted by you, because it comes with some vulnerability. Alright? They're going to be enhancing their physical appearance to become more attractive to you so that you can notice them. And they're going to become more wearing their heart on their sleeve. So just be aware and be mindful and gentle. Okay? Also, it would assist them with you wording things correctly so that they don't crash out. Okay? Because they really are attracted to you, and they really do want to marry you. Because the scene prior to that was him holding a sign saying, will you marry me, right? And so, they just want to make sure they're very attracted to you. They just want to know if you are attracted to them. So that means you probably need to make it known. You need to make it more obvious with some compliments. Okay? Try to learn his love language and do those. Okay? So, yes, this prophetic word is coming to pass. Confirmation in the month of April. Okay? Of that segment. Now I hear in the sub days. Now I hear praying in the spirit. Excuse me. Ah, yada yada, which means a last shout for joy, to know, but in a deep, intimate, relational sense, often implying a profound understanding and connection, rather than just intellectual awareness. He's going to know without a shadow of a doubt that you are the one. And you are as well. Hallelujah. Shout, behold. Okay, then. I hear see 5 times. which means to perceive, to see in the physical world now. Okay, so now it's going to be super obvious. He's going to say something or do something that's going to make known that he is very attracted to you and wants you. Okay, this is a prophetic word regarding a call is coming. You're calling to watch the first part of this. Now, okay. Now, let's see here. So, you have made that transition. If you was said to move from one place to another, you should have already done that. And if you're just hearing it for the first time, you need to be at the right place at the right time, getting the secret place. Okay, because where you're going to find your individual is not where you were once before, prior to this prophetic word being recorded and delivered. Okay, which I'm recording in April. It's before that you've had to make some moves. And so he's saying, yes, now make that move. If you haven't done so already. If you already did, as of December, you're good status. Okay? So now, when it's saying to know, when you get to know someone, okay, that piece of it, yada yada. It signifies a profound, experimental, and intimate knowledge, like between a husband and a wife, or between Yahuwah and his followers. It also includes the idea of making oneself known, or being recognized and understood. It's going to be crystal clear now. Okay? No kind of guessing, thinking maybe did I read his body language correctly, investigating it and dissecting every little detail. It's going to be so crystal clear now of his intentions for you. Okay? In the Bible, it describes Adam knowing Eve as in a way that leads to conception, emphasizing a deep intimacy. It's used to express the spiritual intimacy of knowing Yahuwah, as in press on to know Yahuwah. Isaiah 6:3. Okay, so it implies discovery, actively pursuing knowledge about your spouse. Know your spouse. Okay? You can experience intimacy on a way incredible, deeper level than you've ever experienced before. And even in the silence with one another, it's going to feel like you are learning about each other. It's going to be very romantic and very intimate and very vulnerable. Okay? It's almost like knowing them. You're interacting with that individual. It's like creating love. In it, a lot of it has to do with asking each other questions and spending some quality time with one another and reading each other's body language. Hallelujah. Okay, 1 Peter 3 says, likewise, husbands, live with your wives in a understanding way. The attitude of curiosity and asking questions to better understand our spouse. Emotions, fears, hopes, dreams, concerns, likes and dislikes. This is the stage where you get to know each other on this level. And it's quite wonderful. It is very special. Okay. So the word intimacy is into me, see? And that's where yada comes into the picture. And a curiosity can create an emotional connection that often is prerequisite for a woman to connect sexually with her husband. And so this is advice for those, in order for those husbands to win their wives, to be sexually intimate with their wives, they first have to win the wife's heart, to win her body. So the Most High is prepping both of you because you're going to get married, right? You're going to be then sexually intimate. But meanwhile, prior, you need to know her and know him. Into me, see. Okay? It's like a prerequisite for that stage. And you do it now, knowing each other in this intimate fashion. Okay. So during this time, you also get in the secret place, and you have intimate time with the Most High. Say, here I am, and let him speak to you and share details, intimate details with you, one-on-one. It's about feeling the way Yahuwah feels. Okay? Empathy with the Most High. Feeling feelings with the Most High. And it goes hand in hand, feeling feelings with your future ordained spouse. Thank you so much for joining me on this prophetic journey of my supernatural diaries. I'll see you on the next video. Shalom.